Okay.
Unless she emailed me, that's what she did, right?
Okay, come all the way over to the side.
You can give her your email.
Okay, when you do hyperextension, put it in the prone position. And if you do it with a straight leg, this is what you're getting. You're maximizing the involvement of the hamstrings. And you're decreasing the involvement of the gluteus maximus as the agonist. With a straight leg, you're also striving to get more stretch applied to the iliopsoas group by slacking up the rectus femoris. So with a straight leg, you want to slip your fingers under the distal femur. And you're not really going to lift on it until you add the little stretch at the end. You want to anchor here over the hip. You want to make sure that the movement stays in the sagittal plane. There is it's not uncommon at all for people to want to A-B gut at the same time. That's why I'm putting my hand on the outside and working on the leg that's away from it, because it's very easy to pull it in. Well, easier to pull it in and keep it in the proper plane than it would be if I worked on the near leg. Okay, raise your leg up, and then I'll add a little stretch, and then back down again. By having my hand here, I can palpate the gluteus maximus to know that it's still contracting before I add the stretch. If this is not, you got to turn it back on before you add the stretch. Okay, now with the knee flexed. This throws out the hamstrings as an agonist. Doesn't mean that they're not participating. It's just that they're less less efficient as an agonist, which then puts more work on the gluteus maximus as the agonist. You're going to slip your fingers underneath the distal femur. Your arm is going to help keep the knee in flexion. This knee position will get more stretch on the rectus femoris than it will be on the little iliopsoas. Okay, raise that knee. Stretch again. If they have a tight rectus, this knee is really going to try to extend. So that's why you want to make sure you get this arm around it to keep it in flexion. Okay. Okay, flexion. Hip flexion. This one you're going to work on the leg that's closer to you. You can flex the hip with a straight leg or with a straight knee, or you can allow that knee to flex by having that heel drag the table as far as is practical to do so. If you do it with the straight knee, you're going to decrease the involvement of the rectus femoris as a hip flexor. You're going to force a little bit more work onto the iliopsoas to flex the hip. You're going to maximize your ability to stretch the hamstrings with a straight knee. The hand nearer the head is going to apply resistance to the movement. You're also going to be able to palpate the rectus femoris to know that it's still engaged before you add a little stretch at the end. Your other hand is just down here to help keep the movement in the sagittal plane. Okay, let's flex. If you allow the knee to flex as you do the hip flexion, you're going to increase the involvement of the rectus femoris as a participant, as an agonist. You're going to decrease your ability to stretch the hamstrings and move your stretch more to the gluteus maximus. You're still going to apply resistance here with the hand that's nearer the head. And the other hand will be on the dorsum of the foot to prevent any synergistic movement of dorsiflexion. May not have to worry so much about this who's got an intact brain, but somebody who may have had a stroke would probably have the synergy. So you'll try to separate that. And the movement is going to be just like this. And at the end of the movement, I'm going to move my hand from here to the back of the thigh so I can add some stretch. Okay, let's pull that knee back toward your shoulder. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, and then I'll help it back down. Again. Okay. That's hip flexion, both knees straight and knee flexed.
Internal and external rotation
Of the hip.
of the hip.
Okay, have a seat, just face the camera. Look at the camera, say hello.
You said hip flexion. It doesn't matter which way we show you unless you specify.
If the card just says